So these were my letters for turkey. So for mine, what I had to do was I had them spell for one of mine lessons with the kids. I did a 15-minute lesson, and we used the letters of turkey and made a different activity to do for each of those letters. So the reason I'm showing you the letters is because I felt like the letters were a good part of the lesson, and my cooperating teacher also felt they were a good part of the lesson because not only was I telling the letter that I wanted the kids in this, I was teaching a kindergarten class. So not only was I telling the letters to the students, but they were able to see that, which I felt was good. And my teachers thought was great for a kindergarten level, not only to hear the letter, but to see it so they know it and can see it and read it and better understand the letter, especially at that age, and then tie in that activity to do with it. The other part I'm going to show is a video I made for the seesaw activity instead of the turkey. The turkey one was live, and this was a seesaw activity we did. And so what I did is I created a this or that video, and I'm going to show you parts of it here quick, run through it a little bit, and then kind of explain what I liked about it. So what I created was a this or that video. The part I liked is that that my cooperating teachers helped with is the rules. I had them write it out at first, and then once talking with them, we figured out that this is a kindergarten level, and then I kind of registered it as well. It's better just to show a video of the rules instead of having them all written out for them to try to understand and read. So what they do in this or that video, you would click on the slide and automatically everything would go here. So they would have to pick one thing that they preferred, and then on the next slide, whichever one they preferred, they would do that action for 30 seconds, and this timer would go, and then music would play as well. And then after that 30 seconds, the slide would switch. One thing I really liked about doing this lesson, and I learned while doing this, was how to be virtual in one way, because it was difficult at first, but then once you got the hang of it, the little things like adding the timer so that the students can see how much time they have left or how much time they're doing something for, instead of just saying, here, do it until I say stop, or do it until I'm done, kind of. Them seeing this timer lets them know this is how much time is left. Here's how long we're doing this kind of activity for. So I just kind of went through and did a this and that video for them. And so that's the part for my teaching with my cooperative teachers that I really enjoyed. So just to answer some of the questions here, how I collected my hours, a lot of it was observation. Most of it was observation. We obviously weren't able to go into the classroom, so a lot of just observing them, taking notes, understanding, and then part of it was creating the lessons they gave us hours for, and then teaching those lessons. What did the teaching look like for me? It was I did the seesaw lesson like I talked about, and then I did that 15-minute live one as well. And then while watching, it was mostly virtual, and then watching them teach virtual was kind of interesting too. So they were recorded, or they were recording us watching them while they were teaching on their computer for the students, which is what we ended up having to do at the end. But that was interesting to see just how a lesson would go and that flow would go with everything. What I learned while watching was a better understanding while watching these teachers of how to control kids. That was always one thing I've been worried about, kind of, is how to get those kids who are goofing off just to settle down. And after watching a while, I got a better understanding of that, which I liked. And the hardest part for me, I think, would be like the discipline, kind of going with that discipline and the way they handled it. I liked being able to see that as well, but I've always had the issue of how am I going to discipline someone who's not wanting to participate. I think I'm worried about, and how do I get them to want to keep participating. I guess that kind of has the concern, that just like the concern for me is the discipline and making sure my kids are actually engaging and liking what they're engaging in, instead of just teaching something to teach it. What I taught my lesson, obviously I did the virtual ones, and then I did my peer ones. So my peer ones did the catching and throwing, jumping and landing, spatial awareness, those kinds of things. And then with the turkey, was a dance and movement patterns that I was working on with the elementary kids. And then the this or that video was just basic exercise movements and then understanding them as well. Um, and then finally, what I would do different if I was the teacher, there were not much. I mean, it's hard times. So with COVID and being virtual, it's already hard for them as much as it is hard for us. So I think the one thing I might change is their kind of system. That the school I was at, they just run the same kind of games, no matter what the age level, and they just obviously make it harder as the kids are getting older. The skill levels and different skills you're working on, but it's the same games for each grade, which I guess if you don't have a lot of time, like I talked to with my observing teacher about this. If you don't have a lot of time, that's the easier way to just have the same activity but advance it in skill level for those kids throughout your day. So do the same basic game you're doing, but just work on different skills in that game. But I was concerned because I was wondering that maybe each grade should be doing something a little different, though. Instead of being the same game as the kindergartners are doing, the fourth graders shouldn't be doing the same game kind of as they are. But after understanding that they're working on those skills and with the time you have and stuff, that's hard to do, I got a better understanding. But that'd be one thing I would kind of try to change, I guess, when I would be a teacher. So overall, this was my lessons, my Google Classrooms, and I had a great year. Thank you.